Today we have Sanjana as our special guest. She recently got placed in SACS Global in the on-campus placement. So Sanjana, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Shania?
I'm very good. So can you give a brief introduction about yourself to our audience?
Yeah, so my name is Sanjana. I'm currently pursuing computer science in Dayanand Sagar Academy. I'm in my seventh semester right now, and I'm still pursuing engineering. So this is a short intro about myself.
Okay. So what was the campus placement for you and
So
the
this was,
whole
yeah.
process?
So this was an on-campus placement. So I got offered in SACS, and it consists of multiple rounds. So there were totally four rounds, including the test and interviews. So the initial round was test. So that was most the challenging part because I had to compete with other students as well. And
Yeah.
next three rounds were the interviews. So which includes technical and the HR rounds.
So
So
how
this was
many
about
technical rounds you had?
there was one technical round and
Okay.
two HR rounds. So one is hiring manager and the last round was HR round.
Okay, what was there in the hiring manager round? Can you give a
Yeah, so
brief?
in the hiring manager round, it was mainly focused on the thinking ability skills and how you manage the situations and all. So they'll ask you situation-based questions. So you have to answer in such a way that how you manage it in a real life as well, and also in the corporate world. So such questions were asked to analyze our thinking skills. So rather than technical, the most challenging was clearing the second and the third round because few people may be good in technical, but they may
Yeah,
not excel in such areas.
situations, yeah.
So
They basically
yeah,
want to
so all
check
this,
what will be your point in some given situation
yeah,
or in some given time.
yeah. So all this plays an important role in cracking the interviewer successfully.
Yeah. So, and how many technical rounds you had?
There was only one technical round, and that was completely resume based. So whatever you mention in your resume, you have to know it pin to pin, or else it will be difficult because a few companies do ask whatever is in resume, like the projects you've mentioned. And if you've done any internships, pin to pin, they'll ask you like how you have done, what all the outcomes you've learned, so all those, and even the certifications if you've learned. So
Yeah.
what are the outcomes from the certifications? So all those matters in the
So,
technical
what
round.
and all certifications you have done already and
So
projects?
all these were curriculum based. So one was related to SQL and DBMS, and
Okay.
one more was related to computer networks. So and one more was related to cyber security. So out of these, the more important is SQL because in the interviews they do ask SQL queries as well as the questions based on that. So SQL plays a very important role along with the data structures.
There were data structure questions.
Yeah, so they asked a basic of it. So my role was a technology analyst in SACS Global. So they didn't go much into DSA, but the basics of it like arrays and strings. So if you know arrays and strings properly, you can crack any of the interviews. So there are various other complex based data structures like linked list, graphs,
Yeah, yeah.
binary trees, and all. But rather than those, if you focus on the basic ones like stack, arrays, strings, as well as queues, I guess you can clear any of the interview rounds in the companies because they mainly focus on the basic knowledge. So if you're very strong in that, then I guess you can clear any of the interviews. So yeah.
So, what was the difficulty that you faced in this interview?
So in the interview, initially the first round went well. So it was all about Java and SQL. Since my language was Java, so they asked more about Java questions and especially OOPS. OOPS is one of the important concept in any language. So they'll ask how do you relate OOPS and Java and why do you prefer Java over any other language, be it Python or C++.
Yeah,
So and answering to those questions precisely and exactly is what is more important, and also SQL based queries, they'll ask you various query questions and also they'll ask you to write the syntax of various commands. So all those are very important in the technical round, especially one basic programming language as well as a database language is the must in any technical round.
yeah.
So
Okay.
this was the
So,
question.
as I see, your role is for technical analyst.
Yes.
So, did they ask any
Yeah.
machine learning questions or any algorithm based on that?
Yeah, so yeah, because many people think analyst is basically of machine learning or AI ML,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
here in our job description, it was more of cloud-based platforms that they analyzed because Saks Global is one of the luxury brand. So they sell all of the luxury brands, okay, and they are associated outside India. So the questions was not based on AI/ML rather than cloud platforms like your AWS or Azure, the basics of
Okay,
it.
so
So all of
yeah, yeah, continue.
So yeah, so AWS, Azure, and how do you maintain scalability in the cloud platforms, and how do you manage the data in the cloud? So all that was mainly focused rather than AI, ML, or data science.
Okay, so they focused on cloud also in your interview.
Yeah.
They asked cloud questions also.
Yeah, basic cloud questions because we had a subject. So they asked about what's AWS, how you can store, and what are the services that are provided in AWS.
Okay, okay.
All such basic stuff was asked in the interview, not in depth.
So as I can see, they have asked many curriculum related topics like OOPS,
Yeah,
cloud, and
yeah,
all those.
yeah.
So how much is it important for any campus interview?
Yeah. So initially in your first year or second year, focusing on any basic language, like it's your choice, either C or Java or Python of your choice. So be very strong in that programming language. So once you excel in that, you can go with web development and data structures, exploring in that language particularly.
Yeah, yeah.
So and also OOPS also plays an important role because all the various concepts that we have in OOPS, they ask you to relate it in real life or into your projects, like what all concepts you have used in your project. So one such question was
Correct.
also asked for me. So yeah, so OOPS is very important as well as the data structures.
And other subjects, as far as I know, no SQL, SQL, computer networks, and
Yeah,
OS, operating system,
yeah.
all those subjects. Are they that
Yeah,
important or what?
yeah, so out of this, which you have mentioned, I would like to say SQL is more important compared to others. It mainly depends on the job description or what they're hiring. So for me, they asked mainly about SQL rather than computer networks or OS. Few other companies did ask for OS and CN questions, like particularly in CN, they mainly focus on the OSI layer or the TCP/IP layers. Rather than that, there's nothing much. And OS questions I have not seen anywhere asked. So it depends completely on the job role and the company's specifications. So SQL plays an important role in any interview.
Okay, so basically SQL and data structure. If you have covered these both
Yeah,
topics, that is enough for any company's
yeah,
interview. Okay.
yeah,
So, like, how was the process? It was challenging for you, like whole campus placement from the starting till you got placed. What was the
yeah.
sequence of events, and what and all was going in your mind?
Yeah, so initially, like I when I started applying for companies, so I was unable to clear the first round itself, that is the test round. So I then started losing my confidence, but then I didn't give up myself. Then I started practicing various coding questions as well as one of the important thing is aptitude also. So fewer companies do give aptitude for their test criteria. So and then I didn't remember much of those formulas and whatever is required. So I just searched in YouTube and learned all those formulas, how to solve it in a quicker way. So
Yeah.
time management is very important once you clear the test. So how fast you complete the test is what they count. So we had to compete with a huge number of participants. So and then clearing the round, first round was only a great difficult thing. Soon after, then I started clearing the rounds, test rounds, but I would get stuck in the technical rounds. So then I understood where I was lagging and what they really need. So depending on the job description, I would prepare accordingly for that company's interview, and then I was able to crack in the later months.
Okay, so that was nice. And you had any other offer apart from Saks Global?
Yeah, so apart from Saks, I got an offer from KPMG as well. So that was my first offer that I got, and then Saks was the second offer that I got. So yeah.
Okay. And what were the platforms you chose, or YouTube videos, or books you will prefer to others who are still preparing for campus placement or any other job?
Yeah, so initially, as I said, in the first year, do focus on any one of the programming language, be it C or Java or Python. So for that, you can use various YouTube channels. Okay, so there are various YouTube channels like Code with Harry and also W3 schools. For learning the basics of any programming language, you can make use of W3 schools as well as Geek for Geeks. And then learning the advanced concepts like OOPS as well as the arrays, the strings, and also there are various YouTube channels that are available with a complete playlist. So I guess YouTube is the best platform for to learn any language or
Yeah, that is
anything that's
correct.
required rather than yeah, rather than going to some other paid institutions and they teach you and it's no use. So you can learn it on your own time if you do it from the YouTube. So I prefer YouTube completely. I didn't pay for any of the institutions or any online courses. I just used YouTube and various other websites. So through that, I've learned all the other data structures as well as Java and be it SQL. And through your curriculum also, you'll have few subjects like SQL, computer networks. So if you pay attention there, then remaining subjects which are required for your company wise or industry wise, you can just search in the YouTube and then gain knowledge from there.
So, Sanjana, apart from your curriculum, what projects or internships you have done?
Coming to the internships, I had secured an internship at Accenture. This was also an on-campus opportunity. And projects, I had major three projects. So one was related to the MERN stack development. That was a clone of Airbnb platform. The second one was related to the database. So that was mainly about the art gallery system, so managing all the artworks. And the last project was related to the Django web framework, like how do you develop applications using Django framework and all. So these were the three main projects that I had in my resume as well. So apart from this, there were other micro projects as well that was related to Python, Java, and all such. But coming to the main project, these were the three.
Okay, so these were like all group projects or individual project. And how does
Yeah,
an
so
individual project help a person?
yeah. So, coming to these three projects, as I mentioned, one project was related to MERN stack. So, this was an individual project, whereas the other two were group projects. So, in group projects, I guess the work load will be less, and also you depend on others more. Whereas in individual projects, you have to do everything on your own. You have to learn everything and do it on yourself. So, I guess that is one more added advantage if you do it
Yeah,
individually
learning
rather
is
than
more in
yeah, so
individual.
learning is more in individual rather than in group. I always prefer individual rather than doing in groups.
Okay, so yeah. And apart from all these things, how you got the internship at Accenture? Like it was an on-campus
Yeah,
placement, matlab on-campus internship, that's
yeah.
fine. But what was the process?
Yeah. So initially the process was we had the first round was we had to complete few certificates in their web portal. So that was the first round. And then once we got selected into the second round, there was a test. Okay. So that test includes all the MCQs. The MCQs was based from all the subjects. Like it has comprises of CN, OS as well as your microcontrollers, SQL, and few basic pseudocodes. So it consists of all the questions from various domains. And then once we completed the test round, and then I got shortlisted for the interview. So in the interview process, when I gave my interview, I was in fifth semester, so I still didn't
Oh,
know
okay.
what I have to prepare and everything. So he just asked me about my projects. So at that time, I worked only on about 2 to 3 projects. So I just said him that, and I was also working on the database project. So I just said him that I'm still working on this project. And once after the interview, there was only one round of interview. Then I got the offer letter telling you got selected for the internship. So that's how the process went.
Okay, it was very good because in fifth semester only you got a good internship.
Yeah,
Yeah. And nowadays there is there is thing like hackathon.
yeah,
People they
yeah.
are very much interested in hackathon. So how does that help in an individual's knowledge growth?
Yeah. So in 4 years of engineering, apart from your academics, so hackathons as well as other coding events and technical events, they also play an important role.
Yeah.
So through hackathons, it helps you to develop your skills and also learn various new things. So I also had participated in 2 to 3 hackathons. So one was done by our college and the other one was done by the different colleges. So through this, I learned how to develop skills, and also if given a problem statement, how can you solve? So your problem thinking ability as well as learning new
Correct,
technologies. So it helps to improve all of this, and also it boosts your resume as well. So if you have anything apart from your curriculum, it is a standpoint.
correct. So yeah, Sanjana, that was all my questions.
So I just wish them all the best who have got placed and who are still writing for placements and trying to secure it. I just wish them very all the best and learn new things and never stop learning. That's all I can tell.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanjana. Thank you for coming. It was a great meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.